still going on. It's not getting reported on. I myself held in my hand some color slides made by Arkansas State patrolmen who'd gone out to a cattle mutilation. This is simulated, just so you can see what I'm talking about. They had gone out to a typical cattle mutilation and had treated it like a crime scene. And they took 35mm camera and they made color slides. And then when they went back and didn't notice anything out of the ordinary other than the precision surgically cut holes in the cow and the fact that soft tissue had been removed, they went back, developed it, turned it into slides, and said when they looked at it, they were astounded because you could clearly see a cone of blue light rising out of the side of the cow and then just stopping. Well, how do you stop light? That's pretty odd in itself. And folks, I've seen this. I held those slides in my house and in my hands and looked at them. And they said, what's this? So they figured, well, something's wrong with the camera, or we had bad film. So they took the camera apart, worked on it, got it where they knew it was okay, then got new film, went out there, they couldn't see anything at the scene, take pictures, they go back, there's the blue cone of light. Amazing. Something's going on beyond our ken. What's going on with cattle mutilations? Now, okay, this is, again, kind of falls under theory, but it's informed theory. At the A&M, it was reported that humans share many of their innermost genetic secrets represented by perfect match chromosomes with another mammal, cows. We have 23 chromosomes in our DNA makeup, they have 23. And, as they say, you are what you eat. And we eat a lot of beef, right? Now, think about it. If somebody wanted to come and cut open some earth creatures to find out how bad pollution was getting, wouldn't it be better to leave a few mutilated cows around than a whole thousands of mutilated humans? So the thing is that I found out in my research of looking into the animal mutilation is there's two things. Every time you had animal mutilations, you had UFO reports. Every time you had cattle mutilations and UFO reports, you had reports of strange blacked out helicopters with no markings, strange trucks roaring up and down the backcountry roads. So it became obvious to me that the two were intertwined. So where we are is either the cattle mutilations are being conducted by ETs and the U.S. government is secretly chasing around after them to figure out what they're up to, or the cattle mutilations are being conducted by the U.S. government with the ETs chasing around, trying to see what they're up to. I personally suspect it's the former, although I think some of those mutilations probably were committed by the government, but simply in copycat manner to try to figure out what are they doing and what are they doing. They're taking sex orgy and they're taking the soft tissue. This is where pollution would gather the strongest and the most. This is how they could determine what the ecology of the planet is doing. And of course, you know about crop circles, but I'll just kind of skim on through this pretty quick. Crop circles are amazing, and we find that, number one, they're very often associated with sacred sites. That's Stonehenge, right across the way, is one of my favorite crop circles. It's made up of 140 circles. Now, look at that. Just look at it for a minute, and you tell me if two guys with a board and some string did that.
September 11th.
Yeah. They finally said it was Doug and Dave, these two pub crawlers over in England. Once the story about the crop circles just grew and grew, and even the establishment media was beginning to talk about it, okay, then all of a sudden Doug and Dave came forward and said, oh, it was us. We go down to the pub, we get a little loaded, we go out with a string, we'd tromp it all around, you know, and the media bought it. Okay, just like they bought Phoenix. Oh, it was military flares. Yeah, it was military flares. They dropped them at 10:30 at night, but that doesn't explain what flew over Phoenix at 8:30. Okay? So then they let the whole thing drop. They didn't have sense enough, the media did, to go back and simply check the record. The very year that Doug and Dave was public and said, yeah, we hoaxed 200 crop circles. If they'd simply gone and done their homework, they would have found there were 2,000 crop circles, and that they covered not only England, but America, Canada, Australia. Okay? So what? Doug and Dave are flying all over the place? Of course, you don't hear about Doug and Dave anymore because I forget one of them. I forget Doug. Maybe he died. So it wasn't. So Dave couldn't go out there and do it all by himself now. Are there hoax crop circles? Yes, there are. But they go back through history. Here's a woodcut from talking about the mowing devil. So it's nothing really that new. Here's another incredibly complex crop circle. I think I actually figured out what they're all about. They're intergalactic corporate logos. Yeah, it does. It looks like the trilateral logo, doesn't it? But it's easy enough to tell a legitimate crop circle from a hoax crop circle. Are there hoax crop circles? Yeah, there are. In fact, now there's groups of people over in England who get their jollies going out and trying to hoax as complicated a crop circle as they can do. But it's really simple to tell a real one from a fake one. In the fake ones, they do exactly what you'd expect. They go out with a board and a string, and they go in a circle, and they tromp down the crop, whether it's corn or whether it's grape or rapeseed, whatever. And as you would expect, the crop is mashed, the stems are broken, the leaves are stripped off, so it's easy to tell that. In a real crop circle, the plants lay down, but they don't die. They keep growing, but they will never stand up again. And they go in a swirl, and sometimes they're braided. And they're in layers, and one layer will grow clockwise, the layer on top of them will be counterclockwise. What can do that? We don't know, but certainly not anything human. And you can tell because here are normal wheat nodes, and the ones, and I've got some of these in my possession, the nodes on the crop circles are blown out, kind of like popcorn, as though they have been exposed to intense microwave energy. Same thing that happens to that popcorn in your microwave. And here we see the crop that has been bent over, but it's still living, but it just can't stand up again. This has all been thoroughly documented by Dr. Livingood. We also find that they found a Euclidean theory expressed in the crop circles that is not known to humans. Nobody had ever done that before. And they don't tell you about the best ones, such as this one at Chilbolton in 2001. Here's the Chilbolton radio telescope. In 1974, we sent this into space, which is a binary code that tells us that here's some binary numbers. That's telling the atomic elements. This tells us, gives us in binary code the makeup of human DNA. This gives a little body of a human, and this tells our solar system with the Earth offset. So it shows we come from the third planet from our sun. Okay, and in 2001, we get this sent back in the field across from the Chilbolton radio telescope. No, that's see the wheel tracks. Those are crop, but it's not real high. And they show us that they come from the third, fourth, fifth, and I guess sixth planets of their system. And look at their little figure. Big head, little bitty body, and the DNA is slightly different. So did we get an answer back? Well, if we did, we're not being told about it. And wow, here, did they show us who's sending it? This is a hoax one. Yeah. Okay? Everybody got excited when they saw this one, then ran out, and of course it's all trampled down. It's obviously a hoax one. But that one's not. And this one came along with a face. Isn't that interesting? But in 2002, we got this one with a face and a formation that is in code, binary numbers, and it is translated as Beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises.